Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome to ESPN Afternoon College Football, presented by Cars.com as part of the Rivalry Series, presented by Jiffy Lube. Welcome to Williams-Brice Stadium for the Palmetto Bowl. The number one team in college football, the Clemson Tigers, undefeated through 11, take on their rivals, South Carolina. Struggling this season, but it's the Palmetto Bowl. I'm Dave Lamont with Ray Bentley and Janine Edwards. And Ray, these teams have gone at it for over a century, and two different stakes, really, for the two teams today.
Without a doubt, South Carolina has really nothing to lose here, David. Their situation, they're going to turn it loose here today and throw caution to the wind, be aggressive. Clemson, on the other hand, has everything to play for. They're the number one ranked team in the country in the college football playoff rankings, but they've had trouble here. Dabo Swinney has lost all 3 times he's brought his Clemson squad to this stadium. And turnovers have been the biggest problem. They'll have to overcome that today.
Yeah, there was a 5-game losing streak for the Tigers that was snapped last year in Death Valley. As you take a look at Sean Elliott, who took over when Steve Spurrier resigned midway through the season. Elliott has done his best to try to maintain a positive atmosphere in what has been an emotional, draining year, I think, for the Gamecocks players and their supporters. But what a way to potentially go out if you can knock off the number one team in the country in an electric atmosphere in Columbia, South Carolina. Rashad Fenton, Rod Talley await the kick. And the Palmetto Bowl is underway. And it will begin with a touchback. And here comes the junior from Ponte Vedra, Florida, near Jacksonville, Perry Orth, who threw for 367 in that surprising loss to the Citadel, but they like to have 94 of those back on a very difficult call.
And Perry Orth is a walk-on who received a scholarship this past fall during camp. Got his chance when Connor Mitch was injured, and he's a tough, scrappy kind of player. I like the way he moves around in the pocket. He's a run threat. He can get hot on some of the passes. He's going to have a good day today. He's going to have to see what this defense from Clemson is presenting to him.
And South Carolina telling us we're aggressive today. Both sides of the ball, maybe even in special teams. They're going to let everything they have to try to score the upset.
Yeah, and Pharaoh Cooper is that guy for them, number 11. They'll use him in all kinds of different ways.
Right now, Orth drifting back to pass. Going to go for a deep shot, looking for Cooper right away. A little bit of contact, and it is knocked away at around the 40-yard line. That was actually Debo Samuel was the intended receiver. And Mackenzie Alexander, who didn't play last week against Wake Forest, is back and broke up that pass. As we take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
Pharaoh Cooper, we talked about him, his versatility. Jarrell Adams, the tight end, they'd love to get him into the middle of the field. On the other side, Shaq Lawson is a one-man wrecking gang. He's all over the place. And then Mackenzie Alexander will be charged with covering Pharaoh Cooper throughout much of the afternoon.
3rd down and long coming up after a gain of about 2. For Brandon Wild, the middle of that Clemson defense. You mentioned that Dodd and Lawson are great on the outside. You've also got DJ Reader, Carlos Watkins, Christian Wilkinson, who rotate in primarily in the nose tackle positions, and they're good ones.
This is not where South Carolina wants to be, behind the chains of 3rd and long, and that's going to turn this defensive front loose for the Tigers.
Set. Orth with a quick throw down the field. There's a flag down to the 24-yard line. It's 4th and 8, but let's see what this call is. Trying to get it to Cooper.
Illegal formation on the offense.
An illegal formation, wipe it out. It'll be 4th down and 8 anyway.
Orth threw a pretty nice ball there, just over the outstretched fingers of Pharaoh Cooper. An excellent coverage on that by Tankersley, which surprises me. Tankersley drew that assignment.
Yeah, you're looking at Mackenzie Alexander as the highly regarded corner. However, Tankersley, not terrible.
No, he's been outstanding, really.
Weird looking little kick. But it's going to take a Gamecocks bounce and drift out of bounds at around the 28-yard line. So here comes Deshaun Watson, an absolute Heisman Trophy candidate, and really made a name for himself a year ago in this game at Death Valley when, despite a torn ACL, he played.
And he played well, Dave. It was incredible. He had been considered out of the game, and Dabo Sweeney said, I got to see you practice, and he went out there Tuesday and blew everybody's mind with how well he played. So Coach Sweeney was convinced that he could protect himself, and he not only did that, he had a run like that with only one ACL. He had a surgery a week later. It was just amazing.
Back in the lineup is Wayne Gallman. He didn't play last week either, and he carries the football after that pass out to the 32, a 5-yard pickup. Marcavius Lewis on the stop. We take a look at the stats for this outstanding quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Just a sophomore. That's wonderful news for the Tigers for next year and beyond.
And that 70% completion rating is outstanding, in particular with how many deep balls he throws.
We'll go underneath there. That bounced. It was funny. This is our third Clemson game in a row, and this is the first time they didn't take a deep shot on the first pass.
Yeah, I know, but it's probably coming now. And he throws the deep ball better than anybody I've ever seen in the game of football, Dave, at any level.
Anybody.
I'm talking about guys like the Mad Bomber, Darryl LaMonica, who could drop it in there. Warren Moon was outstanding at that. Terry Bradshaw made a living doing that. Deshaun Watson, they have nothing on him in that deep ball.
And he's going to miss there. It's going to be 4th down, and the Gamecocks defense holds. Watson taking a little bit of a shot afterwards. We do have a flag down. Let's see what this is.
Holding. Offense. Number 78.
That penalty is on the Tigers.
Here's Watson, and he does take it down around the legs. The ankles gets rolled into late on that one by a nice rush from Sawyer.
South Carolina has played decently defensively. Citadel kind of carved him up with the option and an old-fashioned approach.
The week before, they played Florida very tough.
Yep.
Defensively, they wilted a little bit towards the end of that game. But
big rush here. Sorry, Ray. And Cooper is going to watch this drift out of bounds. A little bit of pressure that time on Andy Teasdall, and they almost got a piece of it. And South Carolina will have pretty good field position when they finally mark this down. We're going to step aside. So far, it's been defense that's ruled today. 3 and outs to get things started.
This is the Jiffy Lube Rivalry Series.
You are watching the SEC on ESPN. What a gorgeous day in Columbia, South Carolina. We are very fortunate. We know some of our brethren working in some very icy and cold areas, but this is just an awesome day in the 70s in Columbia for this rivalry game.
I worked up a sweat pregame. Haven't had that in a little while. Felt good.
From the 31, second possession for the Gamecocks and Perry Orth. To the ground they go. This is Wiles. Made a nice cutback to get to the 34-yard line. And Ray, we nearly had a blocked punt last time.
I think what you're going to see all afternoon right here is Daniel Fennell, and he's going to come after it and almost get up in there and make take a shot anyway. But that speaks to the aggressive nature that the Gamecocks are going to play this game with. They're going to go after punts. I believe we'll see some fakes, maybe an onside kick, some 4th down attempts. They're going to try and do everything they can.
This is a normal play for them, though. That little flip pass to Pharaoh Cooper got a couple of more yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 for South Carolina. Pharaoh Cooper, this is his final game for the Gamecocks. He declared through his father earlier this week that he is leaving for the NFL draft.
And I believe he'll be drafted probably in first 3 rounds and do a good job as Nunez comes in at quarterback.
And he is a running style quarterback. He does throw it. He's just a true freshman from Kennesaw, Georgia. And Nunez will keep it and break through. He'll get a first down as he's brought down from behind into Tigers territory following a 15-yard gain.
And that's what Nunez brings to the table, that running ability. You know, it's called the +1 run game when the quarterback can run it because he doesn't have to hand the ball off. You get another blocker, even if it's a guy he fakes to, who will take somebody out, which you saw right there as B.J. Goodson hit the tailback instead of the quarterback, and it created that big scene.
Orth back in. Nunez looked a touch shaken up when he came off the field. 22, Brandon Wiles is the tailback.
Cooper in the middle on the trips up at the top.
Orth's going to design draw, and he'll break free. Orth will have a first down to the 34-yard line before T.J. Green brings him down. Another 15-yard pickup for the Gamecocks.
And Perry Orth can run the football a little bit as well. And this is just a great job of blocking, too, by Wilds. He came through the hole first and chopped down a linebacker, creating extra room on the back end.
Cooper splits out to the slot. Number 11, the big playmaker for South Carolina. We have whistles and flags and hold everything.
Yeah, the right guard looked like he had the hiccups.
Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jeff Heiser, our referee today.
We call that on Matulis. I didn't see him move. Well, he actually is playing right guard instead of left guard, his normal position.
Now they're a little bit banged up. They're missing Mason Zandy today at right tackle, so Blake Camper.
Actually, Matulis is out there at right tackle.
All right, so they've moved several bodies around.
Yeah, they have kind of a makeshift offensive line here due to some of the injuries.
And now Wildcat here with Pharaoh Cooper. And he will throw it occasionally, but this time he's going to keep it, and there's Green. I'm sure they looked at that play several times in Brent Venable's film room. Loss of a couple there.
Yeah, well, they rolled up T.J. Green into the box. This is an 8-man front, and there are just not enough blockers, enough hats for the Gamecocks to take care of the business. And Green is a really solid tackler anyway, and you'll see him show up here on the outside. The initial pressure by Lawson. There's Green. He's got contain on that one and played it perfectly.
And you really don't respect the pass there, do you?
No, you kind of catch that one on the fly because you're expecting run in that situation.
Orth back in again. Takes a middle screen here, set up nicely to David Williams, and Williams is brought down by B.J. Goodson at the 29. That's an 11-yard pickup. That sets us up now for 3rd down and 5.
And a really nice job of making the blocks down the field. Matulis in particular, along with Will Sport, got a hat on a hat, knocking guys out of the way.
I also got to think part of the idea today, Ray, for South Carolina is anything 4th and close, they're going to go for it.
Especially in plus territory where they're at right now.
I mean, they've got an excellent kicker in Elliott Fry, but you may not see as much time today. Orth guns it, caught right at the marker, maybe a little shy, the 25-yard line. The catch, solid hit. DJ Neal made the grab. And they are going to be short, so here's a perfect example, Ray, of what I was just mentioning.
Yeah, they are going to go for it. They move the pocket here to get away from the pass rush. Nice timing by Jaron Kearse to make the immediate hit, but the ball got there just a split second before, and they are very close.
Are they bringing up the chains?
They're going to have to measure it.
I mean, we're up high here, but I don't think they're there. Now, this also gives, of course, Sean Elliott a few extra seconds to discuss with his staff and with his team what he wants to do.
I'd be shocked if they didn't go for it. Even though points are nice, but with it as close as it's likely to be.
Yeah, and they have 2 footballs down even funnier. They have the ball there where the hit occurred, and they have another football back at the left hash.
Right, and that looks like a couple 3 chain links short.
Yeah, I was pretty confident they didn't get it. But again, we've talked about this, and Sean Elliott had said to both of us, we're laying everything out. And why buy? And talked to Perry Orth yesterday, the quarterback. He said to us yesterday, to Janine and I, when he was dropped off to meet with us, I've got 26 hours left in this season. That's it. Why not play to win? And that's what they're going to try to do here.
Yeah, you don't want to be desperate, but aggressive is just fine, and that's what they're being right here.
Whistles. Timeout, South Carolina. So even with all that extra time, they weren't satisfied.
I don't like them in shotgun and that short a distance to go. I would say get up under there and just run your quarterback sneak.
Celebrating its 11th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. We look at 4th down And about a foot for the Gamecocks. Perry Orth is the quarterback, and this time he's under center.
Yeah, you're going to get a quick snap quarterback sneak in my book. There it is.
But did he get it?
Oh, he got it, and then some. Did a nice job finding that little seam off to the left of his big center, Alan Knott.
So we are 8 plays into this South Carolina drive.
And you see the great job by the center of going low and really tipping Ben Boulware up on top of his head. The linebacker tried to dive over the top. And the quarterbacks, a lot of times when they see that coming, will get a lot lower than normal so they don't get picked off. Very well executed by Perry Orth.
Pharaoh Cooper now takes his position and that Wildcat formation. And he will look to throw. Gonna lob it. A lot of contact from both players. No flag. Second down coming up as they went after an excellent defensive back in Mackenzie Alexander with DJ Neal.
And Alexander just cut him off. He got in perfect body position. At the top of your screen, you'll see it come into focus here. And there was really no way for Neal to get to the football. He had to go through the body of Alexander.
I like that non-call because they're both hitting each other. Who could you have possibly called interference on there?
Right, and you know, a defender is entitled to his position. Or doesn't have to move.
Orth is back in. A lot of pressure coming, very quickly throws in, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Clemson forces the turnover. The interception by Adrian Baker.
And Baker did what I call a slough technique. So here's the shot. Orth, I don't think he saw Baker doing that slough technique where Baker had the flat and there was no threat there, so he backed off and he was really out of the quarterback's vision and showed up, and nobody was more surprised than Perry Orth.
9th that Orth has thrown this year, 2nd picked up by Baker this season. That was a 10-play drive that ate up nearly 5 minutes, but ends in a turnover. Now the Tigers back on offense. And this is Wayne Gallman. That was an interesting comment when we talked to Dabo Sweeney early in the week. Gallman didn't play last week versus Wake Forest, and frankly wasn't really needed. So we asked, how is he doing? And he said, well, he's about 93%.
Yeah, he was pretty specific, and he is outstanding. He makes this running game go. Leggett is an outstanding receiver at the tight end position. Sky Moore is the #1 playmaker for this Gamecock defense.
Watson will get close to the mark. Might be a little bit of short. Those impact players brought to you by Jarrah, the Galleria of Jewelry. It looks like it's going to be 3rd down without a measurement necessary at the 20-yard line.
And the one guy I didn't mention was number 21, Isaiah Johnson. He's the safety who will have to come up in this game and make tackles on Wayne Gallman one-on-one in space. That is a tough challenge.
Now this might just be, and this is where Clemson can be a problem. You've got a 1,000-yard rusher at running back, and you've got a running quarterback who makes great decisions. Watson will keep under pressure, easily beats the defender, and he'll get a 1st down. TJ Holloman came up and put the pressure on, but Watson, as he has shown all season, just plays under great control.
Yeah, he attacked the edge and put those defenders over there in a little bit of a bind because there were receivers going out behind them. So they had to back off, and that opened it up for the run, and Watson made the proper decision.
Scott going in motion. Little pitch out. Gallman, and this is downhill running. And Gallman doesn't mind the contact as he gets out to the 32-yard line. Isaiah Johnson, who formerly played at Kansas, graduated and decided to play 1 more year in there on the stop. That's a 7-yard gain.
And that's the battle right there that I just spoke of. And Johnson came up, made a nice hit, but it was still a gain of 8.
Yeah, they're going to mark him 32-yard line, so it is an 8-yard pickup. 2 to go here on 2nd down. Watson, middle of the field. That's Leggett, the tight end, the Mackey Award semifinalist, into South Carolina territory at the 43-yard line.
They pick up the blitz coming here on the outside. Gallman does a great job of slowing it up, and then Sky Moore loses sight of Leggett, and the ball, that's one of those touch passes that actually Watson had one of those intercepted last week. That one he threw perfectly over the fingertips of Sky Moore.
Back to the ground we go, and Gallman running hard as always, runs into Moore. That's the ball's on the ground at the 36. Do the Gamecocks have it?
They think so.
Most of this crowd thinks so. Sean Elliott thinks so. But only one ballot matters, and yes, it's Gamecock football.
And that was Sky Moore who came across and made the hit and knocked the ball right out of Gallman's hands.
That's two of the best players on the field going head-to-head, and that time the Gamecocks win it. Rico McWilliams fell on the football, but Moore forces the fumble. The number one tackler for this team out of Cooper City, Florida, comes up with the biggest defensive play in the early going for South Carolina.
ESPN College Football is presented by Cars.com. All drive, no drama. And in part by Jiffy Lube. Experts around every corner to help you leave worry behind.
Senior day here in Columbia, and the last player to come out, not technically a senior, but playing his last game for the program, the brilliant wide receiver, Pharaoh Cooper. So after the turnover and the fumble by Gallman, South Carolina takes over. Each team has coughed it up once. Orth on the run, and down he goes at the 30-yard line. Shaq Lawson, he's going to be an All-American. That's his 20th tackle for a loss, 8.5 sacks. But wait a minute. Is that Janine Edwards music? I believe it is. Janine, what do you got?
Hey, Dave and Ray, you know, the Clemson Tigers have just turned it over for their 22nd time this season, and a third of those turnovers have come in the last 2 weeks. So needless to say, that's been a topic of discussion, because when they revisited their rivalry here with the Gamecocks, they noticed that in their 5 losses here, they have given the Gamecocks 63 points off turnovers. So the coaches have dissected their plays lately. They said they don't want to emphasize it too much because they don't want guys overthinking, but they said we've looked at it in film study this week. We've been trying to pinpoint the causes, but as Jeff Scott told us, co-offensive coordinator, it's a fine line between correcting and overemphasizing. The last thing we want is a nervous Deshaun Watson.
You know, it's kind of like free throws. Teams miss free throws in basketball. Well, you got to go practice them, but it's a mentality without question. Thank you, Janine, and thank you for being here this weekend with us. 3rd and 13. Well, that's going to be a problem. Let's see, as each side pointing to the other.
Right, the finger pointing starts. And on film, watching this South Carolina team, they've done a good job all year with the cadence and getting guys to go off.
Defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, go down.
We got Carlos Watkins to go a little early there, along with a couple other guys.
So now 3rd and 8. Under 4.5 minutes. Right now. Empty backfield set for the Gamecocks.
Orth likes to run quarterback draw in this set.
And he's going to go ahead down the middle of the field, and it is broken up at the 47-yard line. And it'll be 4th down as we head to the studio for our first of what I hope will be many visits with Adnan Virk.
Oh, thank you very much, Dave. The Taco Bell studio update. One update was happening Georgia and Georgia Tech. That's Sony Michel, 34 yards, touchdown. Georgia Tech up into Georgia and Athens last year, Dave. So we'll see what happens. Back to you.
I got to watch Sony and play in high school, and he was a phenomenal running back in high school, as you might have guessed. Here's a funky punt formation from South Carolina.
This has fake written all over it.
And this has a timeout called for by Dabo Sweeney, and you can't blame him one bit for that.
Smart call.
Full timeout.
If you don't like it, stop it by calling a timeout. See if the Gamecocks come out with that again. Gorgeous day in Columbia, South Carolina. We remind you today at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN is Christian Hackenberg, and Penn State looking for the upset when they take on number 5 Michigan State in East Lansing. The Spartans playing for a spot in the Big Ten title game. Their college football playoff hopes are very much alive if they take care of business. College football presented by Cars.com at 3:30 on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. This will be a punt and a high kick by Sean Kelly. Scott makes the catch at the 16-yard line, 45 yards in length, and it seemed like it was about 45 yards high.
It's a good punt.
So turnovers are always big in every football game. Everybody knows that. In this series in particular, were even today, 1 each. But man, in the last 5 years, look what's happened to Clemson when they cough it up too much.
Right, and then it led to those 63 points that Janine spoke of earlier, and that's a big hole to find yourself trying to dig out of. And it was a huge point of concern because of the history in this matchup and of the recent performance of the Clemson offense.
Gallman, who just fumbled, gets the rock again, and he runs into some contact right away. Sky Moore, number 10, led the parade after a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 7. TJ Holloman, number 11, also in there for South Carolina.
This defensive line for South Carolina is of the penetrating variety. They try to get upfield and disrupt things as best as they possibly can, and they do a nice job of it.
You see 92, Gerald Dixon Jr., 13 tackles last week against the Citadel. But back to the ground goes Gallman, fights off Holloman that time, and he will get to the marker, and it should be a Clemson first down, and a little yapping after the play with Holloman and Moore and Gallman. I think Gallman a little embarrassed perhaps about that football, that fumble that he dropped, I should say.
Boy, Gallman, when he hit Holloman in the hole the first time with a forearm or a stiff arm to the chest, he knocked him back 4 or 5 yards, and then Holloman regained his balance and made the tackle then.
He got 31 yards and 5 carries as the sophomore from Loganville, Georgia. He stays in the tailback spot.
Well, shot time, I would think.
Watson going to go underneath instead. An immediate hit made to the 30-yard line. There is Moore again. That time it was Jermone Hopper who made the grab. 4-yard pickup, 2nd down and 6.
We spoke with John Hoke, the Gamecock defensive coordinator, and he said a couple of times we got to keep everything in front of us. He's well aware of the proclivity of Clemson to throw the ball deep and then the accuracy that Watson throws it with. And right now they've got safeties back on every play.
They've got an empty backfield set to the Tigers. Now pressure coming from the edge. Watson saw it and ran away into the other direction and avoids a big hit, and he'll slide safely. And that should be a first down. Boy, Watson saw that one coming.
And that's one of the things that he does so well is react on the fly. I don't believe that this was a quarterback draw necessarily. It was something he saw open up, and he just took off on his own, and he knew exactly where to get that first down.
Holloman came in unblocked, but Watson ran by him, as Ernie Harwell used to say, like the house on the side of the road. Little handoff here to Gallman, and he'll get to the 45-yard line before he is brought down by Jordan Diggs. That's a solid gain of 8. Remember, this drive started deep in Clemson territory following the good punt. And there's nothing fancy about this drive either.
Not yet. But they're getting into that field position where they can go ahead and take the wraps off a little.
But ball on the ground again on the zone read, didn't work. Another turnover.
Dante Sawyer is in the right place at the right time. And really all he did was olay the offensive lineman, Maverick Morris, to get back there, and then the ball was loose on the exchange. And it looks to me like Deshaun Watson wanted that football, but he wasn't able to get it out.
Watson makes the tackle here and saves what could have been a big man touchdown too. Well, Dabo Swinney trying to remain positive, hiding what I'm sure is a world's worth of frustrations right now as South Carolina takes over the Clemson 39-yard line. 23rd turnover by the Tigers this year. Nunez is the quarterback, and he is tripped up immediately, and submarining underneath there was Christian Wilkins, number 42, for no gain.
Let's go back and look at this fumble again, Dave. And really, the guy who made the play is Sawyer. Watch his move. He just olays the offensive guard, Maverick Morris, to get into the backfield so fast. Little arm over swim move, and right there, ball popped up to him. And you're right, Watson made a touchdown-saving tackle, I believe.
I mean, it's possible somebody quick could have caught up to him, including Watson, by the way, as we have a player shaken up on the field for South Carolina. So we will step aside. With this game 0-0, 1:42 remaining in the opening quarter of the Palmetto Bowl.
These teams have met with both ranked in the top 10. Touchdown! The Gamecocks have won 5 in a row. Deshaun Watson for the touchdown. After 5 consecutive losses, Clemson finally beats South Carolina.
We are 0-0 at the moment, leading us to our Aflac trivia question. Clemson and South Carolina are meeting for the 107th straight season. It's the second longest active continuous FBS series. Our question to you is, what is the longest? And we didn't try to deceive you this week.
No, I actually got it half right. I had one of the teams. They played for a trophy.
So we'll let you all think of that. Some folks in the Midwest have already nailed it. Let's just say that. Farrell Cooper in that Wildcat position, and never mind, we have whistles.
Delay again. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And second down and 15.
And those are killer type penalties in terms of a drive, and it's something that's happened too often this season for this offense.
And here's the thing I don't like is it's coming off of a timeout. You had the injury to Lorenzo Nunez, who walked off under his own power, the second string quarterback. You have time to get your guys out there and get set. But Cooper's not a quarterback either. And he barely hangs out of the ball this time and bounces off the tackle to the 40-yard line. He's going to get 3. As let's head down to Janine Edwards, who's been hanging out on the Clemson sideline.
Yeah, guys, Dabo Swinney has just come over to his offense twice now, and the entire offense circled around him as he tried to get his guys refocused. And Deshaun Watson has been sitting here not saying a word, literally with a dazed look on his face, not really talking to anyone. And, you know, this is something that Swinney had talked to me before the game about. He said, you know, we're playing our 10th game in a row. We're looking for our 15th win in a row. The challenge is keeping guys mentally fresh. And that's what they're trying to do today.
Well, they're going to get a break, Janine. Thank you, from their defense. It's an interesting decision to have Lorenzo Nunez run on 3rd and 11. Yielded very few yards. Ben Boulware, number 10, is in there on the stop. Now you've got 4th down and 8.
And they're going to let the quarter run out and then make this decision on whether or not they want to go for it.
0-0 at the end of the opening quarter. The number 1 team in the country taking on their rivals who are having a down year but would love to keep that palm tree that goes to the winner of this game. They would like to get it back. They lost it last year to Clemson and Death Valley, but here at Williams-Brice, 0-0 after 1. The Tigers have coughed it up a couple of times on fumbles. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Second quarter about to begin here at Williams-Brice in Columbia. And at the moment, South Carolina is lining up for what could be a 55-yard field goal. 56, I'm told, for Elliott Fry, as long as 52. And that is not close. So Clemson will get some decent field position when they get the football back to start the second quarter.
I like the try, though. You know, try to get points from that particular field position. A 4th and 8, a little too long to go for, and you got a kicker who can kick it that far. So they try to get the first points of this ball game.
And some very benign conditions here today. The wind is no factor at all. You've got a beautiful day in Columbia. So not a, I don't know. I thought they might go for the aggressive fake there. They talked about being that way. But so far, nothing too crazy. Deshaun Watson leads it out. Clemson's turned the ball over a couple of times. And very little there as the middle of that South Carolina defense that you've touted, Ray. It'll be second down and long. So we have seen a bit of a sloppy performance by Clemson offensively so far.
Yeah, and I tell you what really surprises me is they have not taken a deep shot yet. They like to do 12 a game, 3 per quarter. So far today, have not launched it down the field. The longest play, a 25-yarder to Leggett, and that was only thrown about 15 through the air. Everything else, 8 yards or less. They got to open it up and go deep.
Right now they stay on the ground, and South Carolina's defense hitting hard in this game, as you might guess when you have rivals who have a general disdain for each other. Gain of 4 there, plus many of these players probably have known each other since high school, even Pop Warner and Pee Wee days.
One thing that happens, Dave, the longer an underdog can hang with the favorite, the more confidence they get. And then all of a sudden that turns into better plays, and then you had yourself a ball game.
Little screen pass blown up. That's going to be ruled incomplete. The call on the field is incomplete.
Still a very good defensive play as they took care of the business. He got the blitz off the edge. Just, was untouched was Darius English. And then he pops it outside, trying to get the ball to Brooks. And there's a defender right there.
Todd Gurley, TJ Gurley, I should say, not Todd Gurley, but TJ Gurley out of Cairo, Georgia, plays what they call the spur position, which is sort of a roving defender. And he rose right into that play. So second 3 and out forced against the top team in the country. This is a pretty good kick from Teasdale. Fair catch, 20-yard line. That's where the Gamecocks will take over. So right now, most of the supporters in this stadium pretty happy at 0-0. This college football Saturday, put one game on your big screen, another on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Use Watch ESPN. Just download the app or go to watchespn.com. Dave Lamont, Ray Bentley upstairs. Janine Edwards on the sidelines this afternoon. Perry Orth leads out the Gamecocks. And you've got a lot of orange and purple here today. Yes, you're going to have your garnet and black for South Carolina, but the Clemson folks, a lot of them are here. Follow the #1 team in the country. Here's David Williams breaking loose, and he'll get a big gain of about 14 before he's brought down by TJ Green. Let's head to our studio and visit with Adnan.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Just want to update you with Ohio State and Michigan. Ezekiel Elliott went 66 yards, and then they punched in with J.T. Barrett, 7-0.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. We'll look forward to those updates all game long. It was a short gain that time again for Williams. It'll be second down, and we'll call it 9. Take a look at Orth, the junior from Ponte Vedra, part of a quarterback rotation. I was here in the spring when Connor Mitch was the big guy, and he started the spring game, played all right. Orth got some reps. Lorenzo Nunez hadn't even arrived yet. But Connor Mitch had the job at the beginning of the season when they played North Carolina and beat the Tar Heels for one of only 3 South Carolina wins this year.
In week 2, he separated his shoulder, also had a hip injury, and that opened the door for Orth to get his shot.
On a handoff, it's Williams again. He has flipped over at around the 39-40-yard line. Let's check in with Janine.
If the Gamecocks are playing inspired football today, and the crowd is inspired as well. And quarterback Perry Orth told the coaches he wanted to address his teammates this week alone. He said, "I'm a fun-loving, lighthearted kind of guy, but when I spoke to my teammates, I was real serious, and it got their attention. I told them we have to lay it all out there. This is the last game that we'll play together as a group. This is the last game that many of us will play ever as football players." He said, "We've got to play this with no regrets. We can go out and shock the world." And by gosh, guys, it looks like they're trying.
Well, at this point, I think a lot of heads have been turned already, Janine, by this 0-0 score early in the second quarter. However, it's 4th down and 6 as Orth missed on the long throw, trying to get it to Debo against Dabo. It's 4th down.
Orth will miss those things sometimes. You can see it drives him crazy. It makes his coach a little upset too, because that's one they have to have. That was wide open. Samuel was in front of the receiver. That's moved the chains and really start things happening here.
There is no one back deep right now for Clemson. They come to rush, and it's going to be a rugby-style kick, so it's going to be a race to see who gets to the ball, and South Carolina will down it inside the 20. So far, the one thing the Gamecocks have done is they've thrown out quite a few weird-looking punt formations, but at the moment, Ray, we are 0-0.
Yeah, and boy, they missed one there. Carolina moving the ball down the field. They got a chance on a 3rd down, man wide open, and Orth just overshoots. And Coach Elliott lets him know.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and College Football. It's a one-of-a-kind tradition. And in part by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
The Nissan Heisman House Tour made a stop in Columbia today. Fans had the chance to take a photo with the trophy, meet the great George Rogers, the South Carolina former Heisman winner. The Heisman House goes to Waco for Baylor's matchup against Texas next week. Meantime, 1st and 10. And Watson on the keep. And a great two-point takedown to the 20-yard line by Isaiah Johnson, the senior from Cary, North Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Johnson came to this football team in July as a fifth-year graduate transfer from Kansas and immediately impacted this football team. He's one of the leaders.
Only 33 pass yards for Watson, and a conservative approach so far through the air for Clemson. They go underneath this time on a nice cutting slant pattern by Jermone Hopper. He'll get a 1st down to the 30-yard line.
Well, you know, he's not throwing deep, Dave, and there's a reason for that, as South Carolina is protecting it. Those safeties are way back. You see Johnson just coming up in there. They're lining up 15 yards or more deep every play, and that is dissuading Clemson from taking their normal downtown shots.
That was only the second play of 10+ yards. This will be 5 here for Watson to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 5 coming up. And in the first quarter, with the Tigers not scoring, it's only the second time they've had a 0-point first quarter. Louisville did it. That was 2 months ago at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium.
Look at these safeties, how deep they're playing. That just takes the bomb, the long pass out of your arsenal right away. And they're both wide as well, so they can help. I expect Clemson, if they get a whole bunch of this, to start to attack the middle of the field.
This is Goldman breaking through. Beautiful cutback, and he'll get into South Carolina territory. Fighting off tacklers till he gets inside the 40-yard line. Johnson finally brings him down. It's a 27-yard pickup.
And that's just solid blocking behind Tyrone Crowder, number 55, the big guy back in the lineup. And he is a show in and of himself. If you want to watch a lineman play football, keep your eyes on the right guard for Clemson, number 55. He does it right out there and has fun.
7 carries, 65 yards. Gallman's also fumbled today, though. This is Kane, and this is a very promising receiver, Deon Kane. He's had a touchdown catch in 4 consecutive games. And that's the interesting thing about Clemson, Ray. A lot of folks thought Clemson was going to be this good next year because they have so much great young talent.
Yeah, it really is amazing the way they've gelled this year, and certain guys have stepped up where they really needed them to.
Watson's got time. There's that middle of the field attack. There's Kane. And he'll get inside to the 14-yard line before he is tackled by Rico McWilliams. That's a 20-yard pickup.
I can't even tell you how good of a throw that was. He put it in a really tight window, splitting the safety on the inside and the corner trailing on the outside.
To the outside again. This is Hopper, and he'll be just short of a 1st down.
Let's go back to that tight window throw right here, and that is as good as it gets. I mean, he let him out. I mean, that wasn't bad coverage from McWilliams, but it didn't matter because Watson threw the perfect pass.
2nd down and a couple here. They can get the 1st down without getting a touchdown.
Watson loves to run it in this area.
He'll do so behind the block from Gallman. He'll get the 1st down and leap into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Got it going a little bit now. Had a good block by Gallman. He came up and hit Sky Moore right on the edge. Right, you see Gallman right there. He hits Moore, and it really cut off not only Moore but Isaiah Johnson as well, and it gave the edge to Deshaun Watson.
8 plays, 83 yards, 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and the Tigers figured something out that time. A nice mix of running and passing on that drive. We saw a little bit of the best of Deshaun Watson directing that Tiger offense down the field with his arm and with his legs.
And his legs is what got him into the Hollywood end zone here, coming right at you. Watch him finish this thing up in the air. That's how they do it at Clemson.
Tonight on Saturday Night Football, presented by Walmart at 8 Eastern on ABC, it's Bedlam. Number 3 Oklahoma battles number 11 Oklahoma State. The Sooners can clinch the Big 12 championship with a W. The game is also streaming live on Watch ESPN as part of the rivalry series presented by Jiffy Lube. It also could be doubling as the NHL Outdoor Classic based on the weather conditions that are being reported in Stillwater. This is Fenton from the 2-yard line, trying to get to the outside, breaks a couple tackles. He'll be fighting for some extra yards and get to the 26.
Let's go back to this touchdown. Here's the center, Jay Guillermo. He's going to pull and get a block. Gallman gets a block, and that allows Watson to get the edge. And then he's just too fast and dives through it. And on that drive, Clemson had 3 plays of 10 yards or more. Prior to that, they had only had 1 play of 10 or more yards in the previous 4 drives.
And they also hung on to it. Which the first 4 drives, they fumbled it twice. Once Gallman had it knocked out on a hit by Sky Moore. The other was a sloppy exchange between Watson and Gallman. So Perry Orth is back out at quarterback. South Carolina has rotated 3 at that position so far. Wilds and Green have a collision. Wilds bounces off of that to get to the 29 for a 3-yard pickup. And Wilds is
down a little bit.
Yeah, that was a pad popper. You could hear it all the way up here.
And it's interesting what Clemson does. They bring Boulware, the linebacker, outside to blitz off the edge, and then Green creeps up and replaces him as a linebacker.
And he's a hitter, that Green. I mean, the one thing about the size of the Clemson safeties for the college level, it's like a pro guys.
Yeah. You got Green at 6'3", 205, and then Jerron Kearse at 6'5", 220. Those are some large safeties.
We saw Wilds check out. Cooper goes in motion. Here comes a little bit of pressure. Nunez is back in, and they weren't fooled at all, as the fake Deshaun Carson was not bought. That's a loss of at least 3. And getting out of there, Shaq Lawson with another tackle for a loss. He had some help.
Yeah, but watch Ben Boulware on this one. The linebacker, number 10. I take it back. It was 44. Goodson. Those guys are interchangeable.
Yep.
They play so well inside, getting off blocks and closing with such great angles to the football. It's interesting. Those 2 guys, Goodson and Boulware, really they play like inside linebackers in an odd front scheme, even though it's often an even front in front of them.
212 tackles between them coming into the game, and Goodson has 5 already. Pressure. Orth guns it. Bounces it. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Adams, the tight end. And there's the streakiness of Orth you noticed. Sometimes he can get rolling. Other times it goes the other way.
And that has been his issue throughout. And we saw earlier Sean Elliott expressing a little frustration when Orth missed that other pass. And that is really what it is. It's frustrating because he can do it. And he does it in stretches. And then he falls off the face of the earth a little bit.
So here's an opportunity as we see yet again another exotic South Carolina punt formation, and the Tigers again will have no one back to receive this punt. If there is indeed a punt, and there is, and it's a pretty good one. Sean Kelly, the former Florida Atlantic punter, has just ripped one to the 6-yard line, and honestly, if they had been a little more patient, they could have waited, gotten about another couple of yards out of that. Nevertheless, it'll be the worst starting field position for Deshaun Watson and the Tigers when we come back. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern, college football presented by Hilton Hotels on ESPN features Heisman hopeful Dalvin Cook leading the number 13 Noles against the number 12 Gators at the Swamp. Man, there's a lot more than bragging rights on the line for this one. The game will also be streaming live on Watch ESPN and part of the rivalry series presented by Jiffy Lube. And the last 2 times in Gainesville, though, has gone to the Seminoles. But this is a different Florida team with a different attitude going into this game. This is a really intriguing matchup.
That's going to be a physical type of football game. My favorite kind.
Watson again reads off that pressure. He's just running in the direction of the blitz as they go by him. But it's a short gain. It'll be a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and long. David Johnson in there on the stop, number 55.
And that's part of the football IQ that Watson has. He understands when a guy blitzes from an area, that creates a void. And so if you're going to run it or even throw it, that's the area you want to attack.
Leggett goes into the backfield. Gallman will follow the improving blocking tight end, and Gallman takes a shot, but he's not going down. It's a first down, and there's a yapping there between Jordan Diggs about a message for Gallman, but bottom line, that's the Tigers' first down.
Yeah, you mentioned Leggett on that, Dave, and he finds a way. That time he shot down to the legs of Sky Moore and didn't get him on the ground, but he definitely cleared up another 5 yards for Gallman.
Gallman, who has 75 yards already and 8 carries. Pressure picked up, shot drilled, catch made by Sharon Peak. And the graduate from Moore, South Carolina, pardon me, picks up 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Watson's getting into a rhythm now.
Well, this is the Heisman Deshaun Watson after a slow start, the conductor of all things. Well, there's a jinx for you. That's a bad pass thrown to Scott. 8 of 12 now for 84 yards and a rushing touchdown, Watson.
Yeah, a little low. I don't have a problem with it being out in front of him. In fact, that's how you should throw that quick screen. Lead that receiver forward so he's got the momentum necessary to matriculate down the field. Big 3rd down here.
Watson keeps it, drives and lowers his head for a 1st down. He ran that like Gallman would have run it. It'll be a gain of 4. And Clemson, despite having really rotten field position all day, the 4th time they started to drive inside the 20, they pick up a couple of big 1st downs there.
Yeah, and that was an audible. Watson changed the play at the line. He saw an advantage of running the option to that weak side, and sure enough, it was there for him.
Watson, the old option there, he'll keep it, and made the right decision and just sort of fell at the 40-yard line, unless he thought there was somebody coming to go after him there. But he picks up 11 and another 1st down.
And both Dabo Sweeney and Jeff Scott commented on what a great job Deshaun Watson has done this year of protecting himself and not taking unnecessary hits. Watson with 11 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown so far.
And a fling it there, caught. Scott. And he'll be marked down to the 46-yard line following a 5-yard gain.
That's the first grab of the day for their leading receiver, Artavis Scott. Came in the ballgame with 74 grabs, and he's an essential part of this offense. Got to get him going a little bit.
Safety Diggs comes in on the blitz, but it's picked up. There's your first deep shot taken by the Tigers, and it's caught. It's Kane. It's 6.
Well, it took a while, but it was worth waiting for. Just a perfect throw. I'm almost indefensible. The defender for the Gamecocks was right there in the hip. But there's nothing he could do about it because this ball is thrown, caught. Got inside position, and it was, Kane didn't have to change his stride, adjust, or anything. It was just perfectly thrown in there from about 50 yards out.
Al Harris Jr. had a chance. He's there. You're right. I don't know how you could be mad at Harris for that coverage. But back-to-back touchdown drives by the top team in the country, putting them up 14-0 in this Palmetto Bowl as they try to win back-to-back against their rivals after having lost 5 in a row before that. That was an 8-play, 94-yard drive in 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So field position's been bad for Clemson, but it hasn't mattered the last 2 times.
And they have gotten Deshaun Watson rolling now. And, Janine talked about his mindset. It looked like he wasn't really into it, but sure enough, he was just getting himself focused. In the last 2 drives, he's been solid and spectacular. This is an unbelievably great throw. And I see it every week when Watson goes back for the deep ball. None of those are wasted downs where you see a lot of teams will do it just almost to just move the safeties back and create a little running room and just put the defense on notice. Hey, we can throw deep. When Clemson does it, they're trying to put the dagger right in the heart. And nobody's more accurate than Watson.
Patience by the play calling, too, and not trying to force something that wasn't there. And sometimes we give coaches too much credit, other times probably not enough.
Great point, Dave. And I tell you what opened that up was the success that Gallman has had running the football with 8 carries, 75 yards. They have to move people up into that box or he'll run it all day.
Is that ball going to hook out of bounds? No. Fenton's going to have to do something with it. On this grass field, he'll be tackled at the 20-21 yard line. So you're probably wondering what we're doing at halftime. Only one man has the answer, Adnan Ver.
That's how you tease it, Dave. Coming up in the Lexus halftime report, a week after Ezekiel Elliott expressed public frustration with his role. Touchdown today. Buckeyes right now have a comfortable lead against Michigan and the Big House. And also rivalry weekend. We'll be talking about Bedlam. Also Frank Beamer right now not looking great for Virginia Tech and probably his final game. Let's matriculate back to you, Dave.
All right, Adnan, thank you very much. So it's now Lorenzo Nunez. South Carolina has used Orth, Nunez, and Cooper at that position. Nunez going to throw under pressure. He just freezes. Down he goes. You name your favorite Clemson lineman, but it was mainly Watkins in there, along with Lawson, also B.J. Goodson, and they're all down there for a loss of 11. It'll be 2nd down and 21.
And Carolina blew the protection on that pickup because nobody laid a hand on B.J. Goodson. And he's going to start off, and the whole line slid away from him, and he shows up along with the help from Watkins.
So Watkins will pick up a half a sack. Goodson will pick up a half a sack. Carson, the tailback, number 7. It'll be Nunez trying to make something happen. Made one miss, and Nunez takes off down the middle of the field to the 45. Into Tigers territory and finally brought down by T.J. Green.
And this is really a bad job by Clemson of keeping Nunez in their sights. They're going to only rush 3. They even dropped Dodd out. They should be able to coop and corral the quarterback Nunez on that. But I think him stumbling froze everybody, and then he accelerated so quickly he found a little seam.
47-yard pickup, longest play of the day for the Gamecocks, and gives them a shot of adrenaline as Cooper goes off in motion. Will they throw it to him as Orth is back in under the gun, and it's going to be incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
It's tough when you run a screen pass against man-to-man defense.
Crowd a little bit unhappy.
Yeah, they wanted a late hit on Orth.
Orth is 3 of 10, 18 yards and an interception. Really interesting young man to talk to yesterday that Janine and I had the opportunity to.
Well, he was stocking shelves at the Publix here
right down the street.
Ago.
I've been to that store, and he does a good job.
Yeah, right?
I didn't know if I was there when he was working there, but it's very well organized.
It reminds of Mr. Kurt Warner.
Only his, I think, was the Hy-Vee as Carson breaks off of Clemson tacklers and runs through the arms of a couple of them, and 2 big running plays up the gut. Alexander and Green finally bring him down, and 25-yard pickup there.
And this is really a product of Boulware trying to throw the shoulder in there. You saw at the end, instead of wrapping up, making the tackle. A double minus for Ben Boulware on that play. He didn't read run. He dropped out, and then when he came in to make the hit, didn't wrap up. And that is very uncharacteristic of him.
You know, it looks to me, and I can't see you 100% for sure, but has Boulware got that left arm kind of strapped down, right?
Yes, he does have a brace on the left shoulder.
Yeah, nothing doing that time as the defense rises up. Scott Pagano, 56 among the tacklers. Boulware is just an amazing player. He did not finish the Wake Forest game last week, left early. They didn't tell us exactly why.
That was a stinger is what they said, a shoulder injury basically. And he was having a great ball game, 5 tackles, 2 for a loss and a sack in the first quarter and a half before he went out last week.
Orth. This is Cooper, double pass. Cooper is in trouble, and down he goes. Oh, B.J. Goodson destroying the play.
Goodson just put it on him from inside out. And here he is right here. Watch how he approaches this thing with the perfect angle. And Cooper wants to throw it back here, but there's great coverage and discipline for the backside corner. Tankersley staying home and taking that away.
Loss of a dozen there. Now, he has a touchdown pass, Cooper, this season, oddly enough, to Perry Orth. And in this rivalry, he has had a touchdown pass. He's been 3 for 4 for 53 yards. So it's been effective, and the Tigers cut him off. Now 3rd and 22. Orth the lob here. Oh, beautiful throw by Orth. And that is a first down, I believe, to Pharoh Cooper. It is inside the 10 to the 6.
And what makes this play work is the protection. And here it is coming at the end, and Cooper came all the way from the other side in the slot. He covered a lot of ground before he came open, and what made it work, here he goes, is the protection against a stunt by the Clemson front. Great job by that South Carolina offensive line in picking that thing up.
With 44 seconds remaining before the half, we have a timeout called by the Gamecocks that leaves them with 1. The Tigers have 2. They are 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Now this opens up a couple things. You could consider putting Nunez back in, I suppose.
That's what I'd do.
And run the zone read. It's been a weird drive. South Carolina has had what? I think at least 2 plays of -10 or worse, and then 2 plays of 25 or better. This is the 8th play of the drive coming up. They've gone 73 yards in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So Pharoh Cooper playing his final game for South Carolina. He's declaring for the NFL draft.
Yeah, and I think he'll thrive in the NFL. He comes from a military family with great discipline in his background. He's a yes sir, no sir kind of guy. Very good guy both on and off the field.
And his skill set is becoming more common in the NFL too. And I
like Adams, a tight end in this area.
Big target. Orth guns it. Overshot.
Yeah, that would not be how I would attack this. In my opinion, Orth doesn't throw the fade ball well enough to waste a down or a chance doing it.
Trying to get it to Carlton Hurd, a senior.
And you'll see it's just a throw it up and kind of hope your guy can make a play on the ball. And he overshot it. And that's the problem with a lot of Orth's sideline throws up in the air like that. He throws them too far. He might be good in Canada. Might work there.
Haven't seen much of Brandon Wilds lately. At the moment, the tailback is Carson, number 7. All the receivers to the right of the QB. Carson, quick burst. Stuffed, Boulware and company, but it's a decent gain to the 3-yard line. Clock running with 31 seconds to go. It's 3rd and goal.
Carson's a little bit of a load at 5'8", 206. Runs low to the ground. Kept the legs moving. Picked up a couple extra.
Last timeout taken by South Carolina as we take a moment to show you the college football playoff rankings brought to us by Chick-fil-A. And at the very top is the team you're watching today, the Clemson Tigers. You got the Iron Bowl later today. You got Bedlam tonight on ABC. Iowa, Nebraska, and Iowa stays undefeated. And coming up following our game, Michigan State. Notre Dame, Stanford tonight. Baylor, TCU, a crazy one that finished about 4 in the morning with Baylor losing. Ohio State leading Michigan somewhat comfortably at the moment. Stanford, we mentioned, 2 top 10 teams tonight. And the CFB Playoff Top 25 show. It'll be 7 o'clock Tuesday on ESPN.
Yeah, this is a high-stakes weekend, and whoever did the scheduling deserves kudos because most of these games will have a serious impact on what happens on December 5th when they make those determinations.
So we're getting word that the reason that Brandon Wilds has not been playing is he's having his right ankle looked at, the running back for the Gamecocks. But Carson has done a good job coming in. Here's a gigantic 3rd and 3.
Got an unbalanced line here. Now they're going to bounce it up and shift Adams to the other side.
And they stay with Orth at quarterback. No timeouts for South Carolina. Going to fire it into traffic, and it's incomplete. 4th and goal, and now the decision here for Sean Elliott. You take what should be it is a chip shot field goal attempt to get something on the board, and that's the call.
Definitely do that. I didn't like using Orth in this drive. Not necessarily in this drive, but when they got it down there, you know, in the scoring zone, I think Nunez would have been your better option with the quarterback running stuff.
So on for his 2nd attempt of the day, Elliott Fry. This one 35 yards closer than the one he tried before. This one from 21. And he banks it right off the clock. So that one's absolutely perfect by the junior from Frisco, Texas. So with 24 seconds to go, Clemson does have 2 timeouts.
Sean Elliott took over on October 13th, Dave, and I think he's done a decent job in a really tough situation.
And he had told Janine earlier for SportsCenter that he will be talking to the athletic director following this game about his future at South Carolina. A lot of rumors about that job, however, where that's going to wind up. So we are in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium for another edition of the Palmetto Bowl. I'm Dave Lamont with Ray Bentley upstairs. Janine Edwards is on the sidelines with us today. We're not kidding about 70 degrees. We're running air conditioners in the car on the way over here like we wouldn't do in most places in November. Leave the overcoat at home or donate it to the game day folks for Stillwater, where Bedlam will be contested this evening on an ice rink.
You got the terrible towels going here.
Oh, careful now, folks in Pittsburgh are going to be tweeting at you.
Well, they have terrible towels too. I mean,
but yeah, everywhere, even in the luxury boxes over here, they got folks out leaning out the window with those white towels. I noticed the Clemson fans didn't get it.
No. What a surprise.
I'm looking because undoubtedly there are these relationships between, as there are in every state rivalry. You've got one person who went to Clemson, one who went to South Carolina.
In the same family office.
Oh yeah. You know, my daughter went to Clemson, but my son went to South Carolina. That kind of thing. So it'll be a touchback to the 25-yard line. But this is one of the longest running histories in college football. 113th. Clemson leads the all-time series. However, in recent years, it had been South Carolina, and Steve Spurrier loved to verbally torture the Clemson fans. He's not around to do it anymore, and he couldn't do it last year anyway when Clemson beat him at Death Valley. And this is the first time in the history of this series where either team has been ranked #1 coming into the game.
It's also the largest disparity in records between the two teams. The previous being a 5-game difference. This one obviously an 8-game difference in terms of wins and losses.
Tigers going to take a knee and head to the dressing room. South Carolina will do the same. So 14-3. The Gamecocks did get on the board late. However, Clemson will receive the second half kickoff. And the Tigers, after a slow start offensively in the first quarter, came back with a couple of beautiful drives to take this lead. We're going to step aside and turn it over to Adnan Virk, Danny Cannell, and Joey Galloway in the studio.